Okay, have you thought a little bit about emotions and altruism and things like this? Now, in the game show, it was the right thing to do, perhaps, but even there, she felt guilty. And maybe, some people watching her will make judgments about her character. So I think overall, the takeaway point should not be that, humans always behave like this. In fact, the opposite is true. There's a vast body of evidence in various disciplines, psychology, biology, anthropology, politics, economics, that humans are built to be cooperators. They are built to be super cooperators even. We are really, really good at overcoming these types of problems. So the prisoner's dilemma is really important to sort of notice what the potential problem is, and under some circumstances people behave as sort of rational choice predicts here. But in many, many circumstances people overcome this, and people are generally altruistic, at least to some extent, and are generally excellent at finding cooperative solutions. So the takeaway point should certainly not be that humans are always selfish and take the we end up in this de-facto equilibrium. The story is, or the lesson from the story should be that, we may end up in this bad equilibrium if we don't pay attention and are not careful. And what are the mechanisms through which humans have achieved cooperation? So one of the big innovations here is thinking about repeated play. What if we meet again? These two people in the game show example, of course, only met once, but most of our interactions are not like this. Most of us meet more than once. I haven't met you guys in person, but this is our first encounter. But I will meet you over, or at least some of you, over the next years. And I think it pays to be nice, and that's the same for everyone in every interaction. So you always meet twice. So you gotta be nice. And this insight, repeated play, is really important because it creates direct reciprocity. So you can interact in a positive way initially, and that means you'll be able to sustain a cooperative path. Some of you may have heard of tit for tat and the evolution of cooperation. You'll encounter this maybe in the Friday seminar. There's different ways to think about this reciprocity, but basically the core insight is that if you meet again, you can sustain cooperation. And of course, this works, not via rational thinking, but it works via internalized norms. We are taught to be good, and we also maybe built to be cooperative. We feel pro-social emotions, especially in a time of crisis like now. People are trying very hard to do the right thing and to be kind to other people. So I think that altruism and cooperative behavior is built into human nature and into human society. And you can also think about reputation effects. So again, the lady from the game show, a lot of people watched her, and she will have to do some explaining, I think, when she comes home to her family. So it's often not necessary that that there's direct interaction between the two of us again, but if others can observe, say cheating or bad behavior, they will treat the cheating players, the evil players, in a certain way, in a different way. And I think that's another powerful mechanism that sustains cooperation. So the outlook, I think, in the end is much, much more positive. And you'll see a little bit of that, I think, in the seminar. So on Thursday, for the seminar, you'll be looking at the tragedy of the commons. And that's another example where basically the plays is generalized to more than two players, and the dynamics are broadly similar, but the basic model of the tragedy of the commons is super negative, of course. But if you look around the world, in reality, people have been very good at overcoming these problems, and we'll talk about this on Thursday. And on Friday, you'll spend more time with Kit talking about cooperation and solutions to the problem of cooperation. So with this hopefully more positive outlook in very difficult times, I leave you to it, and I hope to see all of you on Thursday in some form.